So the Costa Ricans get the second half underway. Here is Shelton. Austin on to Doyley. McCleary is forced back. Taylor just sends it long. And Brian Ruiz taken out by Rudolph Austin. Well, the coaching staff led by Coach Theodore Whitmore is not seeing through the eyes of Bradley Stewart nor Andrew Price. He's gone back with the same 11 that started the encounter.
Well, I would think that, you know, after the start of the second half, you would, given that you have experienced players out there and you have an expectation, you would at least commit them to.
So the Jamaicans trailing Costa Rica by 1-0. And that one being protected behind for a goal kick. So plenty to chew over for the Jamaicans for the rest of this contest. Donovan Ricketts so far has been very attentive. 51 minutes gone. Taken up by Umana. No one really challenging him for it. Played back by Ruiz. Michael Barantes goes long. It's away by Taylor. Helped on. A chase here for Beckford. Trying to just grab a hold of his man there. Prompt yellow card to Jermaine Taylor. And he has a lawyer there in Elliott as well. And if you continue to argue like that, you might find yourself out.
You know, with the replay didn't show too much. I thought at one stage Taylor came down a little aggressively on him whilst he was on the ground, but that's just the first impression. When you see it in slow motion, it doesn't confirm your early reading of the foul. But nonetheless, a foul and a yellow card and a free kick opportunity that gives them a chance to put us on some more pressure.
Here is Oviedo. And the channel quickly closed down by Shelton, who is all the way back defending. Taylor puts a tame head onto it. Makhanoff. This is what he's being forced to do. Run all night. No, he runs into traffic. Just sandwiched there by two enemies. Phillips. Headed. Oh dear. Jermaine Taylor, not known for his attacking side of things. But this was a good chance for him to level things up for the Reggae Boys. Freed himself. And they flashed it well wide of the target. At what stage would you consult your bench, Bradley? Well, clearly
they're leading and they're taking the initiative by bringing on a fresh player. So, you know, it would seem to me that we are really just reacting to what they do rather than being proactive, determined that this is what you want to happen, and then go ahead and do it, you know.
Away by Ricketts, in by Ruiz. McCleary.
That's going to go.
And Jermaine Beckford. Just guilty of pushing against his opponent.
You get the feeling he's sort of a hothead, given what happened in the stadium the other night with his, you know, flashing the assistant referee off him when he's not supposed to go on the field, goes on the field, gets a card, and now he pushes the player into the advertising banner. And when the player passes by and nudges him, he
tries to please innocence.
You know, that's kind of crazy. That's not what we're looking for at this stage.
Nothing given on this occasion by the referee. But it's Jamaica who need to show in the second half that they want to get back in this contest. Good climb from DeMar Phillips. Campbell still in possession though. Michael Barantes. Rodriguez. Oviedo, plenty of space to operate. Now it's being narrowed by McAnuff. Here's Elliott. Cross by DeMar Phillips by Elliott. Again, Austin goes long. And again, the passing has a big question sign over it. Here's Doyley. Dispossessed. Here's Brian Ruiz. Now Austin is pressing high up the pitch. And showing a very cool head that time is Gonzalez. Oh, this one is given away. Here's McAnuff. Not many options ahead of him. Has to force it back out. Here comes a long-range effort from Elliott.
Well, at least we were able to win the ball or to regain possession in their defending half, and with 2 passes create a shooting opportunity. But I still think that we need to pass the ball a little more and keep moving the Costa Ricans from side to side and hopefully create penetration lanes that we could be able to go through. 19 gets taken out, 20 coming in.
It seems the Yelston Stayeda is the man brought in. So 57 minutes gone. Costa Rica leading, and they've consulted the bench first. Sabaria plays the ball into Campbell. Ricketts well positioned. 2-0 down, and you'd want to think the curtains would have come down on the Reggae Boys as well.
Well, let's hope.
Given away by Austin again. Shelton back to Austin. This time the pass connects. Shelton stays down. McAnuff. Phillips. Back to McAnuff. Maybe the only player in a yellow shirt that is moving about. Still McAnuff. Still McAnuff. Garth McCleary had come up in support. The Jamaican seems to have won a corner kick.
First corner.
And it has taken them nearly 1 hour.
First corner of the game.
First corner for Jamaica. The Costa Ricans had 1.
Yeah.
Jermaine Taylor, can he use his towering presence to good effect? We scored from a corner in the first contest. Here it comes. The keeper comes out and he lost possession.
We are walking. The Costa Ricans are chasing out to get into positions where they can get the ball. We are walking out. Jesus.
Again,
that's
it's poor.
He gives away the ball every other touch.
I think if he tries to make 10 passes, 9 of them go astray. Shelton, he hasn't done much for himself either. His report card wouldn't have really been impressive to read. Here's McCleary. Really can't see one Jamaican who has done anything much. Austin is penalized for flashing that hand.
I thought that was accidental though, although the player contact was made with the opposing player. But I think he's just using his hand there to protect himself. I think that some amount of, what do you call that? Moviegoers, what's acting?
So here comes Jermaine Teddy Johnson as well. Thea Robinson will be brought in. Luton Shelton is coming off. So Shelton is off. Jermaine Teddy Johnson. Familiar substitutions that were made against Panama at the National Stadium. And Jermaine Teddy Johnson with a blistering pace. But having said all that, you will need someone in that team to try and pick him out.
To supply him.
Somebody needs to be the supplier. And I think this is where, for me, Jermaine Hugh becomes very crucial. Yelstin Tayeda can't pull it back.
Interesting face. Number 14 is who?
Theo Robinson.
Theo Robinson came in the last game and had one of two shots that the team got in the 90 minutes. So hopefully he comes in to the game with that basic mentality. He wants to get shots out there. We listened to what Montesa was saying last time, that this is what they had to do here. They have to try and get players into positions where they can get shots at goal. Because if you don't shoot, you're not going to score goals.
So clearly, and T. Robinson comes on with the Reggae Boys trailing by 1-0. So plenty.
And who goes out?
And off went Jermaine Beckford. So the substitutions are the very same that were we saw in the first match. Here's McAnuff. Robinson quickly off.
Interesting phase. You want to see after, with 30 minutes basically to go, you want to see the effectiveness of the changes that have been made. The last time out on this team, only Teddy Johnson came out of the game with a good grade. Now he's been given, instead of 20 minutes the last time, he's been given 30 minutes. Let's see if that additional 10 minutes allows him to be more effective.
Poor pass again from Austin. McAnuff has to fight for it. Willing to wage the battle. Austin. Oh dear. Putting the Jamaicans under pressure. Doyle gives the ball away. This could be problematic. Alvaro Saborio.
And an interesting change for me would be to take Elliott out of the game, the number 4 kid, have Austin play as a defensive midfielder and put a Jermaine Hugh, who is a passer that is going to supply passes to the rest of the teammates.
Jorge Pinto just can't sip any champagne just yet. The slenderest of leads. And Jermaine Johnson is blocked out. Oviedo goes by McCleary, who really hasn't done much. In all fairness, Tappa's first touch looks much better than that of the Jamaicans.
That's Dr. Fraser, it would seem.
Here's Austin. Heavy ball in towards Teddy Johnson, took it well. Elliott. Now Demar Phillips. Teddy Johnson once again. No one up in support. This is stamped through for Brian Ruiz. Needs a good tackle. It doesn't come. Here's Alvaro Saborio. Back to Ruiz. Jermaine Taylor coming across to shut the channel.
Phillips got left too high there. For me, that's the deficiency of the flat 4. If it is that you play with wide defenders that are expected to go into the attack. Then when ball is lost and you don't have that defensive coverage, you're exposed.
Goal kick. Still not happening for Jamaica in the final third. And for the first time, Ricketts has played one short. Here's Doyley. Again, the passing. Look at Austin.
Every time he passes, he puts the receiver under some pressure. And that's causing the transition not to be smooth.
McCleary. Austin again. Halftime in the Mexico-USA game. No goals in that one. Panama still edging the contest against Honduras in Panama City by a 1-0. Here's Austin. "65 minutes gone in that one, Panama, Honduras. Here, 66 minutes by our watch. Jamaica, they have never beaten Costa Rica in Costa Rica. Their only win against Costa Rica, I think, came back in the 1997-98 campaign. I think it was a 1-0 win or a 2-1 victory at the National Stadium. The flag is up to save the Jamaicans' blushes.
But once the whistle goes, he's not supposed to be kicking the ball, and there's no... It would have been an easy yellow card to get, a stupid one, but the referee bails him out.
1997, it was September 13. Jamaica won, Costa Rica 0 at the National Stadium. But all their trips to San Jose have been fruitless. Again, Austin gives the ball away. It has been disastrous in terms of his passing. Here's Umana. Will his goal be the difference at the end of 90 minutes? So far, the Jamaicans have offered very, very little as an attacking threat. Did manage to create 2 openings in the first half, weren't taken. The 2 players who spurned those chances are now watching from the bench. Luton Shelton and Jermaine Beckford. It's up towards Sabaria. Takes it rather nicely. Now here's Yeltsin Tejeda.
Asking for a handball. But
Could have been a harsh call.
Taylor had stuck his elbow into his body. It would have been a, as you say, a harsh call. Any referee to have given that.
Free kick to Costa Rica.
A foul, lost possession, kicked it under the player, rebound came. Advantage Costa Rica because he had to put his hand on the player's body in order to prevent him from getting there.
The ball was played back by Austin Mariappa, guilty of holding against Michael Barantes. Still plenty time for the Reggae Boys to turn things around. Also, equal amount of time for Costa Rica to put the game to bed. Delightfully floated. Headed down! Oh dear. Jamaican saved.
That's the Campbell, young Campbell.
Maybe just by the paint. Somehow that looked as if it brushed the upright on its way through. And again the marking. The ball knocked down, no one there to pick him up. And Donovan Ricketts was stranded like fishermen at sea. This one is helped on. T. Robinson gets his first touch. It's a disastrous one. Well, he's battled back to win it. Well, then the moment he's lost it as well. And Brian Ruiz can be something of an actor. I've seen him on quite a few occasions, but his acting skills might have just earned another Reggae Boys.
Teddy Johnson.
So Jermaine Teddy Johnson had his name taken by the referee. And let's see. Well, certainly that was a rash challenge from Jermaine Johnson. Rather needless. He can be a bit erratic too, Bradley.
Yes, he has indicated over a long time that he can be a crazy kid sometimes. But, you know, I suppose when you are, as he does, he's a dribbler, contact is a common element of his game, and sometimes, you know, the dribblers sometimes feel that players don't really go for the ball, they go for the players sometimes, so reacts badly sometimes.
20 minutes to get it right. Here is Austin. Doyley. Austin might try to go long again.
He will.
This time he picks a good pass. Phillips.
But it's still some time for them to get back in the game. That's just about 20 minutes, near to 20 minutes that is left. Could it be that the Costa Ricans get tired? We're not seeing any signs that might happen, but let's hope.
Well, the longer the game goes on, the less optimistic I'm almost certain the Jamaican fans will become, because nothing positive is coming from the men in yellow. Austin. Taken up by Campbell. Nothing wrong in that challenge, says the referee. Here is McCleary. Still McCleary.
I would love to see him make a pass sometimes before he starts his dribbles. You know, at this level, you know, I don't know that any good defensive unit is going to allow one player to penetrate 3-4 defenders.
Unless you're some Lionel Messi.
And certainly he's not that.
Far from it. Planets apart. Can Costa Rica separate themselves further from the Reggae Boys? Campbell slips it through. Oh, that could be a World Cup saving tackle. It's Austin, it might be, who was tracking back there. That challenge might have saved the campaign. So we've seen Jermaine Johnson and Theo Robinson coming in, but nothing from them so far. Here is Johnson. Still Jermaine Johnson. Tries to shoot from distance. The keeper gets down low. Robinson ushers it back to McAnuff. He gets it back. Possibilities here! The keeper holds on this time.
Well, we hadn't gotten a shot on goal.
Stinging effort there from Jermaine Teddy Johnson.
A long time, and then in moments we get 2 shots. So at least one would say that given...
Here goes Campbell.
Very close there.
Another close shave for the Reggae Boys.
That was young Campbell has some skills. He's not necessarily a finisher. You know, he's probably a destructive player because he takes on player and sets up other players. But he's had some shots this afternoon, and neither of them have been on target.
Here's Teddy Johnson once again. And this could be a bookable offence.
I think he took too long to go down there.
Not much in that challenge. And you have a second look at it from Michael Barantes. The Jamaicans have 16 minutes left. Oh, this is rather wasteful. They could be caught out. Tracking back well was Mariappa. Donovan Ricketts doing a very long survey. Elliott, rather useless in my estimation in midfield so far. Here comes Costa Rica. There's a red tide pouring forward. Jamaica backpedaling. Yelstin Tejeda given a chance to run forward. Didn't make use of it. Here's Doyley. Elliott. Teddy Johnson. Picking the ball up rather deep. I don't think that's what they brought him on to do. Here's Elliott. Luckily, the referee
bails him out.
Kay Navas. Alvaro Sabaria just coming together with Elliott at the other end. The Jamaicans, no, they can't afford to stay down just now. Have to get up and get on with it. Oh, Demar Phillips is beaten. Campbell is away. Here is Campbell coming inside on his favorite foot. And then presents a gift to Donovan Ricketts.
Like I said, the assessment is that whilst he has dribbling skills, he's not the best kicker of the ball, whether dead ball or...
Again, it's turnover by Austin and Campbell is away. Still Campbell is going through. He's forced wide by Mariappa. Still Campbell rolled across and Sabaria can't finish things off. Big chance for Costa Rica. Big let-off for the Reggae Boys.
Well, Campbell has done a yeoman's job in terms of putting our team under pressure. He's dribbled directly through the middle. He's taken the central defenders out, left the flank midfielder on the ground, played it across the front of the goal, and the slightest of touches didn't allow the onrushing striker to get the ball in the goal. But good work by Campbell.
The Jamaicans have lost the battle in midfield just now. Here's Brian Ruiz. Closed down quickly. And Dane Richards is on the park. In a moment or two, we'll tell you who he has replaced. Here's Dane Richards, covering a lot of ground. Inside to Robinson. And Garth McCleary is the player off. Here's Jermaine Johnson. Negative pass. Demar Phillips. It's still going backward from the Reggae Boys. Now Doyley. Haven't seen him gone forward in the second half. Maybe the Costa Ricans are doing a good job at keeping the Jamaicans hemmed in their own half. And that Mariappa's ball is disappointing. Has summed up the 78 minutes played by the Reggae Boys so far.
With just like 12 or so minutes to go, hopefully we see with Richards coming onto the field that has some pace. We hope that the thinking is that, yes, they might be a little bit tired now, so we bring some pacey players in and hope that we can exploit that what we expect them to be a little tired.
Austin, on towards Richards. Nicely taken up, second chance to cross it. Oh dear. Brian Ruiz trying to pick one out from deep inside his own half. Austin, can he find a telling ball? It's back to Phillips from McAnuff. Now Jermaine Johnson on towards Dane Richards. Doyle shows up. Does he have a good cross with him? Distant ball in! DeMar Phillips, not the greatest player.
And a little
with the head
too high for Phillips. Coming from behind, you have to have the ball in front of you where you can generate power from, you know, the speed at which you're going and the speed of the ball coming across. For him to come there and have to climb high to get a ball that's a little on the high side is not going to really give us too much of a goal scoring opportunity there. But I like the effort that we've seen in the last 5 or so minutes. Much more aggressive running, trying to get players into the attacking third of the field. The problem still is we're giving away possession of the ball too easily.
Justin Tejeda confronting Taylor. He's still going. Oh, Taylor is beaten. He goes inside. The shot comes in. Jamaica have been beaten. 2-0 to Costa Rica. And there is no way back from this mountainous task.
A goal that you'd say created by us losing the ball in that attacking third and not having the legs to recover fast enough. So it gets played out to the left and Taylor stands up the defender but still doesn't get defensive support. So when he gets past Taylor, he's facing the goalkeeper one-on-one and made no mistake. He cuts it inside and had enough time to do whatever he wanted. Took through 2 or 3 other Jamaican defenders with him when Taylor had missed on that tackle. So, where we are at the moment, 2 goals down with just like 8 or so minutes of regular time left. If it wasn't difficult before, now you're going to say it's almost impossible.
Flag is up against Tia Robinson. 82 minutes gone, Costa Rica 2, Jamaica 0. And after their disappointment in the United States, a very close call there once again. That looks as if he was onside. Blas Perez has gotten his name on the score sheet. Panama 2, Honduras 0. So the teams are...
The difference is that Costa Rica makes a change. They bring in the number 20. The number 20 comes in and scores. We bring in players who don't seem to have any positive effect on what happens in the game.
They have brought on a defender now. Celso Borges has come in. So Jamaica's task looks rather insurmountable. They couldn't find a way in with 80 minutes. Now they have 7 minutes to get 2 goals. 3 if they want to end the history of fruitless trips to Costa Rica. They have been coming here since 1965 in World Cup qualifiers, and they haven't come up with a 3-pointer just yet. The best result was a point on their first trip.
Tough times for the Jamaican team. I think that after the game in Mexico, expectations rose beyond what would have been expected of the team. So, you know, everybody expected Jamaica to do much better this time around. But, you know...
And clearly, Bradley, some of the players are being played out of position.
Yes, but
Taylor again, losing his brain.
I think what they have
poor pass. Here goes McAnuff. He has pace. He has support as well. Jermaine Johnson whips one across. Robinson can't meet it.
I think functions is what is important, and if a player is unable or is too challenged to function how the coach wants him to function, then he should adjust.
Then Richards this time doing the defending. And the player opts to cross it.
Dane does a better job than Jermaine Taylor at defending against the number 20. Because that's basically the same situation reoccurring in the game, where Richards gets close enough to him so that you have to force him away from the goal.
Taylor committed himself in going to ground. And
this is their final substitution. Number 2 comes in.
So Christian Gamboa is the man coming on, and he replaces Joel Campbell. And Christian Gamboa was a starter in that game. They lost against the United States. And Gus McCleary just complaining to the referee, in all fairness, he could have allowed it to play, because the Jamaicans were in possession and moving forward.
Not much time left. 86 minutes gone in this game with some time added on. Yes, it's not too much time to get goals, but given what has transpired in the game so far, you wonder if we have the guts and the determination to mount those attacks that we're going to give us opportunities to score.
2-0 and cruising. And this was the moment that Costa Rica moved out of sight. Jermaine Taylor just trying to keep him out, but how balanced and how poised was that finish. Brilliant work, Jose Luis Pinto. Now you can celebrate. Permission granted by that strike from Yelstin Tejeda.
First time we're seeing a smile on his face.
Here is Doyley. Almost as if he was watching the play more than the ball.
But you could see the effectiveness of the number 20 coming in. He's been able to, on a consistent basis, travel up and down the left attacking flank for the Costa Ricans, and has really posed a lot of challenges for the Jamaican team.
If the Jamaicans are going to get anything right going forward, they must get their passing right. Robinson climbs, guilty of using a hand against Umana.
I'm yet to see the forwards get close to the defenders, turn their backs on the defenders, and then try and make passing lanes available.
That kind of support that is needed in midfield is not present. There's not that one player in the team to hold the ball up and move it about in a way that will give the players time and space to move about. It's all being hurried and poor passes coming out of midfield. Rudolph Austin, very disappointing from him. This man on the ball really hasn't done much for himself either, Elliott. As for Doyley, I think the jury is still out on him.
Well, yes, but he's not been... the problems we are having is that we need a defender in a flat four that is going to be able to cover the spaces around there. If you notice the second goal, we didn't even see him in the picture. Right, and since that, the number 20 has come down that flank a few occasions that we're not seeing him in the picture any at all. So I don't know how what's the jury on that one, whether or not it is any better than we would have had with a Lovell Palmer or a Xavier Berger, whoever the other options are.
Well, the fans might be starting to think now that our campaign might have taken a huge hole in the tires on its way to Brazil if we're going to ever get there. When Naira Nosworthy
lost 2 wheels in the process.
When Naira Nosworthy went down at the National Stadium, was that the defining moment in Jamaica's campaign?
Well, the possibilities are that you have 7 more games left to play. The next 2 matches are home matches, I think, right? USA, Mexico. If you get points, can get 6 points out of those games, you'd be back on track. The thing though is that you have to feel a little bit of confidence about your team's ability to play better than we are playing at the moment to get those points.
Costa Rica leading, and they are doing most of the running. Good tackle from Austin. The 90th minute mark is up.
We're not seeing any indication from the...
Never saw any in the first half, but we heard the whistle. That's what the Costa Ricans will be waiting for. Free kick. They haven't offered much.
You know,
Robinson.
when you watch a game and see something's happening, you start to wonder where our coaching influence emanates from. One would feel that with Monteso, Luciano and Whitmore, that it would be a Brazilian influence on the game. So you're expecting to see much more passes, much more possession-oriented game, much more cohesion. You know, we're not seeing that. We're seeing, yes, we have a lot of English players, English-based players, and that probably dictates at the end of the day what styles suits the team most. It's like what they call it, punt and hope.
It was another... It was a disappointing performance at the National Stadium. Luckily, they escaped to the point on home soil. Here, history never favored them coming into this, and the result is staying according to the history books. Brian Ruiz, dispossessed by Elliott. Austin.
That's
needless to describe that.
That's a typical Austin.
Brian Oviedo. And Elliott comes back to win one. Here is Dane Richards. He's been so deep since coming on. And that's not his natural game. He's been employed as a winger. And he's a man that you put him to run off the shoulders of defenders. Here's Demar Phillips. Needless to say,